Hey everyone, Mason here. I'm just making a short video on the build I've swapped over to. I was playing melee reavers and snipers, but I've actually swapped over to storm mages recently, because I think they're actually probably the best minion that we have available. And the easiest reason, like the only reason why, is basically their damage application is instant. They cast arc. It's not a projectile, so it can't miss like arsonists. It's also instant because it's like point and click. And so this basically means their damage uptime is more or less like 80% to 90% perfect on most bosses, even if the bosses are moving a lot. And it makes it really easy for these guys to do a lot of damage. So currently my storm mages are actually hitting for 16,000 DPS, and their average hit is 10,000, and they have a cast speed of 1.5. I'm also running a second set. I'll just show the links quickly. So Storm Mage, Arcane Tempo, Feeding Frenzy, Lightning Mastery, Minion Mastery, and Elemental Focus. This is a flex slot. Other options include Electrocute support to allow the Storm Mages to electrocute, which allows them to stun instantly, which makes doing Sanctums very easy, which is what I've been doing. And the other one is Chain, which is still a work in progress. I don't think Chain's actually that good. I think Elemental Focus is better. But you can't run Elemental Focus, Chain, or Electrocute support. For Sanctum, run Electrocute support. For most other content, you can run Elemental Focus. I have a second set of Storm Mages here. They are not as juiced, basically, but they have Conduction, Stormfire, Overcharge, and Lightning Exposure. These guys are the support. They apply the debuffs, they apply Shock. And then their Shock is 35% because of, I think it's Overcharge. Their Lightning Exposure is 20%. And the last gem socket would be Strip Away. In terms of upgrades, this is only a level 19 gem, so this can get up to level 20, and that's probably what I'm going to do next, as well as get a 6 link here for Strip Away for an extra bit of negative res from the exposure. Everything else is more or less the same from what I've been using before. I have changed Hound a little bit. Behead, Culling Strike, Fiery Death, Fire Mastery, and Meat Shield. Behead and Culling Strike seem to be a pretty good combo together, and Fiery Death is just to help with clear in AoE packs. These two are pretty standard, just for more HP on the Hound. Hound has, I think, 24,000 HP, 20,000 HP here. And he hits relatively hard at 12,000 DPS. Pain Offering is the same, except no Font of Rage, because the Storm Mages they cast, they don't actually attack. Detonate Date is the same, but I actually don't even need to use this anymore, because the Storm Mages have really good clear. Blink is for a weapon swap. Conductivity has Heightened Curse, Hexbloom, and Focus Curse. Eye of Winter has Scattershot, Unleash, and it would be either faster projectile or slower projectile here, depending on the deck slot. So I actually have a deck slot. I might actually chuck that in. I'm still thinking about it. Actually, I'll just do it now, actually. Just grab it. Cool. In terms of gear upgrades, this scepter I've gotten cast speed on it, so it's got increased damage, cast speed, and +4, and it has enough spirit. This amulet I bought, it was extremely expensive. This amulet is absolutely terrible too, but it's got the double spirit line and the minion skills, and the fire res is just a nice bonus to have. But I am fire res capped, so it doesn't really matter. Shield is the same as it was before. Gloves, same as before. These are pretty standard, just res boots. This one I got a +3 max fire res corrupted implicit. Just helps a bit with the max fire res to bump that up basically. And the rings is, this one's terrible. Double res cast speed, rarity ring. This is just cast speed, double res ring. Helmet is just +2 minion skill gems, double res, and energy shield. In terms of the main changes, is mostly to the skill tree actually. So I've dropped block entirely. I was at 75% block. I really do not think it's worth it. In PoE 1, 75% block was really good. I think that's mainly because of Aegis of Roar and Recovery. In PoE 2, it seems pretty awful. Like, it's nice to have. You die less often, but it really does not do much. Aside from like just making you die less often, I guess. But there's no recovery at all, which is the main issue for ES. So I've dropped all these block nodes here. And then I've also started sacrificing more some of the tankiness for more damage. So You can see that I'm not taking these 3 here for more ES. I'm not taking this node here for more ES. I'm not taking this node here for more ES. A bunch of sacrifices for just dropping them for more damage. In terms of what it's actually given me, is that I'm taking like every single minion increased damage node. Or these 2 would be next. I've taken all of these down here. I've taken these 2 down here. These 2 I'm not too sure about. They're not the most efficient, but it's good damage. But I might think of dropping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nodes for these 2 energy shield nodes here and these 3 defensive nodes here. If I'm dying, basically, which I'm not. But yeah, so the tree has basically been spec'd for a lot more damage, which mainly comes from taking every single minion increased damage node, taking these 2 over here, which actually, these 2 nodes, this node here is actually quite efficient. Taking this node here, which is a lot of crit chance. I am taking this revive node here, which is actually not that good, but the only reason why I'm taking it is because it pushes the revive timer down to 4 seconds. And I like to leap slam my minions around a lot, so they have like, sometimes they bug out and then they have a 5-second like respawn timer. So making it down to 4 seconds is a bit nice, but it's like you might as well just take this off and then take these two nodes here for like an extra 200 ES, sorry, an extra 400 ES, which I actually think I might just do for now. In terms of Ascendancy, nothing's changed. The same Infernal Flame setup with Altered Flesh. Currently, Beta to Will is not very good for me. If I take off CI, Beta to Will gives me 1 extra minion, which is like, it's like not even 10% of my damage. So it's like kind of not a big fan. I think I'd rather play CI and then get the insane defensive bonuses from Altered Flesh. For Annoint, originally I was anointing this block node here, but I don't really think block is that needed, and this movement speed for each time you block is pretty useless if you don't have 75% block. So I'm actually just taking more damage. 25% damage, and this one's the cheaper one. There's another one down here. This one's more expensive, so just grab this one up here. So yeah, that's it for the build update. I've swapped off Reavers basically. I'm now playing Skeletal Storm Mages. I think they're a lot stronger than Reavers. I think they're the best minion in the game actually, because their auto attack has clear built into it. Arc can chain, so the auto attack has clear built into it. The auto attack can shock, which is even more damage. And it also has quite a high crit chance, although I have a lot of crit chance bonuses in my tree. But yeah, so far these are the best minions I think so far. They're quite squishy though. So in terms of last support, you can actually put on Last Gasp, similar to how Arsonists were built. But that's just like up to you really. So if you're doing hard content like rituals maybe, you can put on Last Gasp, or if you don't do enough damage, you can also put on that would help. But personally, I'm just having Elemental Focus because I've been farming Sanctum and doing bosses, and that helps with the damage. But for Sanctum in particular, I will swap to Electrocute for general like Sanctum clear. In terms of future upgrades, this needs to get maybe a bit more relevant defensive lines. This one can get 1 more minion skill gem. My gem level can get to 20. That's my next upgrade, I think. This one here can get to level 20. And I think I will grab a 6 link for this guy and also get him to level 20. So 2 level 20 Storm Mages. Although this one, he does no damage, basically. Does like 5,000 damage. This guy does like 3 times the damage. And I'm currently running 2 of these because I feel like they don't always shock early in the fight if I only have 1 of them. But that's like, I'm going to test that again once I get a bit more damage on the Storm Mages, so because maybe 1 of them is enough to shock. But the main thing is that when I Pain Offering, I don't really look at which minion I'm Pain Offering, I just do 1 of them. And you can't really tell the difference anyways. So if there's 1 of them and I hit it, then there's no shock for the fight, which is like, it's a lot less damage. But yeah, that's it for the update. I have a max roll link in the description below. Feel free to check it out if you're interested. And I have a few clips of me killing some of the bosses and testing some of the gem setups. That's all. Thanks for watching.